Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. My name is Mandy, and I'm gonna do a full face for y'all. I love doing full faces of one brand because if anything's gonna work with something else, it should be within the same brand. So I like to see how it all comes together. Ogee sent me quite a few products, and I also have purchased a couple of them myself. So I have everything but mascara and powder to do this look for you. If you haven't heard of Ogee, they are quite literally all over social media. So if you have like a sponsored post come up on Instagram, or I don't know, I don't really look at TikTok, so I don't know if that's how that works there, but they are forever popping up with girls doing their makeup with Ogee products because it's all about that clean aesthetic, clean makeup, organic, super fast, lots of all stick and cream products that I have anyways. You know, high performance makeup. So a lot of the no makeup looks that I see, really for me, it's all about the fast and easy because these things you can just kind of swipe on and blend out. I've seen, you know, girls swipe them on all at one time and blend them out all together. That's not how I'm doing it in this video because that's not how I do my makeup, but I feel like I get the same look. So I'm gonna do this look and give you my final thoughts on the products that I used today, but I have to start out with the fragrance because I didn't want to have this at the end and have some of y'all miss it. I was able to choose a fragrance from Twisted Lily to have them send over to me, and I chose this one from the reviews alone. I had never smelt it before, but I just knew I was gonna like it. This is from Wilhelm Perfumery, and it's the first full bottle I have from them, and it's called the Oud Affair. And these are I just love it when a brand sets themselves apart on packaging. Every time I see the yellow, every time I see the squatty perfume bottles, I know what brand it is. So good job, packaging and marketing departments. This is an Oud Vanilla Honeyed Tobacco Scent. Now, I'm all about the tobacco scents pretty much year round, but especially in the fall. I'm gonna spray some. A lot of people were comparing this to Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. And because I knew I loved Tobacco Vanille, that's why I chose this, and I had a feeling that I would like it. Here's the kicker. Yes, it has a semblance to it, but when I first sprayed this, I was like, hold up. I can see where the Tobacco Vanille comes in, but I love layering Tobacco Vanille and Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. And I said, this smells eerily similar to that layering combination. So I put this on one arm one day, and then I layered these on the other arm, and they are eerily similar. This combination is a little sweeter than this by itself, and I think the reason I'm smelling a little bit of that cherry in there is coming from the honeyed note. But I also think that's why it's not as sweet as a straight cherry. Honey is weird for me. Honey is like coconut. Like sometimes it works really well for me in a fragrance and sometimes it doesn't. In this fragrance, it works really well. So perfect for fall. I've already gotten compliments on this, even though this is like the 4th time that I've worn it. Don't need much. I probably sprayed too much. Lasts a long time on the skin. It's definitely more affordable than buying these 2 products and layering them. And Tom Ford has never been good with longevity for me, so that alone makes this one my favorite. But it does have that just perfect finish of layering those 2 Tom Fords. Again, perfect for fall. So I do have a discount code with Twisted Lily. As always, I will have that linked down below. Get your nose on this if you like tobacco, and especially if you like these 2. All right, let's jump into how I got this full face of Ogee. I'm gonna start with complexion per usual. And they did send me over their skin enhancing primer, but it is also an SPF. It's SPF 40 and it's all mineral. And it's under the skincare section on their website. So technically I think it's more of an SPF than it is a primer, and I'm certainly not using it for sun protection today. I already have my La Roche-Posay UV Moon on. But because it does say it's a primer, I'm gonna take just a little bit of it. It has like a pinkish tint to it. And just kind of, oh, it smells good. Tap it on the area where you would typically put a primer. I don't use primers, but I am gonna see if this makes a difference in how the makeup wears because I have used the makeup before. It is glowy. It's adding glow to my skin for sure. So I don't wanna put too much on my forehead. What is that smell? It's something from my childhood. Like a toy or something. I don't know, that's gonna drive me crazy, but I just wanted to put it here. I haven't used it yet. It does feel a little bit tacky, so it might help in that regard. Now I'm gonna go to the Sculpted Complexion Stick. So this one is 9.7 grams of product, comes in 20 different shades with different undertones, and it retails for $46. They also sent me a few brushes, so I'm gonna use the base brush with this stick, and I am in the shade Linden 1.25N, which is light beige with neutral undertones. So I'm gonna do one side of my face by striping it on and then blending it out. And when I use stick, like complexion products like this, I do really like to just kind of stipple it in, just making sure that there's no lines that I haven't blended out yet, especially when I stripe it on my skin like that. I don't see anything about the amount of coverage that it claims to have other than the fact that it says it's buildable. So I am gonna build this up after I do the other side because I still can see some redness, but this is all mineral pigment. And I'm gonna now take the brush and load the brush up with the product and then stipple it onto my skin, because a lot of times I prefer that method, especially for building a product up. And I think I prefer that method for just originally applying, because I definitely feel like I got more coverage on this side than I did this side. And it doesn't matter what brush you use to do this, but for some reason, for most stick foundations, it just works for me better when I take it from the bullet onto the brush and then blend out. The only one I can think of that works like exceptionally well both ways for me is the LYS foundation stick. Like I can stripe that on and blend it out. It's just so smooth. This one is a little bit more stiff than that one. Okay, so I am gonna take a little bit more applied to the brush and just stipple it into the area where I felt like my redness was still coming through, and it does build up nicely. Now, this is a fairly luminous product. See, it's catching the light. The primer definitely helps that, but I didn't put the primer down here, and it's still very luminous. So this is not something I personally would not set, because I don't like this finish all over, and it's pretty tacky. So I don't imagine it's going to not transfer unless you powder it down. I bought this concealer a while ago in June, and I got the shade Cedar 1.2C. So I definitely like to choose cool toned concealers if they are available, because I feel like it helps further correct darkness. I do have the dermatology corrector, but clearly it doesn't do everything when it comes to my darkness, and I did not get much sleep last night, so I'm sure it's even worse for that. This is 6 milliliters. It retails for $32, and it comes in 30 shades. So there's 10 more options in shades in the concealer than there are in the complexion stick. And I'm not saying you can't use the complexion stick as your concealer. I haven't used it that way. I like a liquid versus a cream most of the time when I'm working with my under eyes. Cedar is described as light with pink beige undertones. Comes in a glass container and does have a doe foot. Like I need to be looking straight on for this. So I'm gonna really concentrate it in the areas where my darkness is for sure the worst. And then blend it out like I normally do. That definitely added more coverage. I would not consider this a full coverage by any means. I would say it's a solid medium, and it is pretty hydrating. Because most of, not actually all of these, are cream products, I'm gonna go ahead and use the bronzer next. Now, I got the bronzer, the blush, and the highlight sent to me in a set that they sell. So while you can get these individually for $40 each, you can also buy them in put together sets, so you're not able to like choose your colors. But there are 3 different sets for $96 for 3 of them. So you're essentially saving 20% if you buy all 3 at once. And I got the Golden Contour Collection is the set that I got, and it comes with the bronzer in amber. This is described as a sun-kissed tan shimmer. And I'm gonna use this brush. I think they call it the blender brush. I'll put it up on the screen if it's something different. But it's a little bit smaller than the base brush, and it's not as dense. So I have been using this for the cream bronzer, cream blush, that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna start out striping it on and then blending it out on my forehead. It's a very light bronzer compared to what I typically wear because I like bronzer. And I probably overdo it, and I'm, very self-aware about that fact. Not self-aware enough to actually want to change it, but I am knowledgeable that I sometimes overdo it. Now that clearly gave some color. It almost has, despite being described as tan, it almost has like a red undertone, which some people prefer because it does mimic true sun. And a lot of people don't want anything with any kind of orange undertone. You will not get that with this. Now I'm gonna pick it up on the brush like I did the foundation for the cheeks to see if that works better. Just stippling it in. Not being too overly precise. I'm gonna cover some with, the blush and the highlight anyways. But I have a lot of people ask me what's my favorite bronzer for fair complexions, because there's not a ton out there that don't turn orange or have the right undertone or have the right lightness. And I always, without a doubt, suggest the Sigma Light Bronzer if they're wanting powder. But if they're wanting cream, I think this might actually do well, because you can see once I blend it out, it blends out a lot. And the last time I wore this, I felt the need personally, because I love bronzer, to apply a powder bronzer on top at the end. We will see if I still feel like that today, but it is a good shade if you have even more fair skin than I do. So again, that was Amber. And the blush is called Topaz, which they describe as a matte rosy peach. So basically both warm and cool undertones, maybe. Rosy and peach gives me that sense. I have used this. I've actually used this on camera. I really like this color, and I am going to just pick it up on the brush and then stipple in. I'm gonna blend that out, don't worry. But isn't it a pretty color? And it's pretty pigmented, clearly. Much more pigmented than the bronzer. Now I can't speak on the bronzer in a different color, but the one I have, the blush is way more pigmented. So I'm gonna take that base brush that I use for the foundation just around the corners. See how that just minimized it a little bit? And once I powder, it'll take some down too. But I do really like that color. This is it swatched. So definitely more pigmented swatched, and I'll swatch the bronzer too. Now I'm really having to rub that bronzer into my skin, but that's it right there. And I don't know if you can see, it does have like a little bit of a sheen to it. It said shimmer in the description, but I don't see any visible flecks of shimmer. So the highlight that comes in that contour set is actually under the blush category on the sculpting stick page, and it's called Carnelian, a luminous coral shimmer. I've been using it as a highlight. It's it right there. I mean, it definitely has color to it, but it also has quite a bit of sheen. So again, I've been using it as a highlight, although they have 5 different shades under the actual highlight section. I just now noticed that. The whole time I've been using this as a highlight. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on my fingers and just tap that on top of the blush. You can tell I don't need a separate highlight. So this is really just gonna add maybe a little bit of color and sheen to the cheeks, but it doesn't come off as like a very pigmented shade of blush. It just gives a little bit more of a sheen. So again, I've been using it as a highlight. I feel kind of stupid now that I realize it's a blush, but that's okay. And that's the gist of the complexion. 5 products. Pretty fast. If I wasn't talking through it, I would have gotten through that in probably 5 minutes. Now they did send me a powder brush, and I have used it for powder. It's great, but I don't have their powder, so I can't show you how it works with that. I just wanted to show you the brush. I don't have any eyeshadow, and they don't sell eyeshadow. A lot of the videos that I see, they're using the complexion sticks on the eyes. So I'm gonna try it. I haven't yet, so we'll see how it works. And if it wears, I'll have to put down in the description box if it wore off throughout the day or creased, because these clearly are all cream products. And I just don't know how they're gonna work on the eyes. But I'm gonna see if I can get this bronzer to show up in the crease. I'm gonna use a Refer 15. I do feel like I need a little bit more of a denser brush to get these to translate onto the eye. And this one is, again, so light that it's showing up a little bit, but not a lot. So again, the consensus on the bronzer is if you are more fair than me, this is gonna be a perfect color for you, but I personally think I need something darker. I'm gonna take the Carnelian on a Refer 32 and just kind of put this all over the lid. See if that even shows up. I'm gonna use it with my finger on the other eye because it's not really showing up like I thought it would, but I might try to top it with that blush to see if I can get some more pigment out of it. Again, I haven't tried these on the eyes yet. So let's go into Topaz, see if I can get it to show up a little bit more. Yeah, that one's showing up a little bit more. So I'm just kind of layering that over the Carnelian. But it tracks that it's the one that shows up the most because it's the one that has the most pigment on my face as well. And then I do want a little bit of definition, so I'm gonna take Cinnamon from Victoria Beckham, which I just sharpened yesterday. There's nothing quite like a freshly sharpened Victoria Beckham pencil. Smudge that out a little bit for some definition. I don't know. I do want some on the bottom. Depends on the day, you know? Again, I do not have an Ogee mascara. They do have one, I just don't personally have it. So I used my Vive mascara, and then all we have left is lips. AC and I walked into Blue Mercury this past summer when we were in Savannah, and I was looking around and they have an Ogee stand. This was before I got anything else but the concealer. I had that. And I saw these tinted sculpted lip oil sticks. So these are $28 and they come in 10 shades. I got the shade, surprise, surprise, Magnolia, which is described as a white pink. And it is that, y'all. Is a very light pink. I put this on right after I got it. Well, the next time I needed to like apply lipstick. And I quite honestly did not feel like I got any pigment out of it. And I don't think it's because it's so light. I just felt like nothing was coming off the stick. It doesn't feel like a tinted lip oil like it's called. It's almost a little waxy for that. And my lips are just healing. They're very painful right now. They're not flared up, but they are in the healing burning stage. So I don't know that I'm gonna actually get any pigment out of this. And when I rub it on, and this is not the lipstick's fault, it's just my lips are so scaly. So I'm gonna try to put some on my fingers. And again, I just don't, maybe a little bit of pigment. I'm such an idiot. This has peppermint essential oils in it. I'm like, why is it burning? Okay, that's why. It doesn't normally burn, but because my lips are my lips right now, it doesn't feel the best and the pigment's just not there. Honestly, even though this is plumping, it doesn't hurt my lips. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of City Lips on just to give me some hydration. So all in all, the lip product is the biggest fail out of all the products that I have used. Now, I don't know if, you know, the super darker ones are gonna be easier to apply to the lips and have pigment show up because I don't wear super dark lipstick, so I can't speak on that. But I was so excited for this color because it's right up my alley. It just didn't perform like I wanted it to. That's it. That is a full face almost of Ogee products. I don't find anything wrong with these products other than the lipstick for me, but I also don't find anything groundbreaking with them. I really appreciate them sending me a lot of these. I will still use them. My favorite two things are probably the complexion stick and the blush. I don't know that they're gonna work on the eyes. Again, I will put it down in the description box, but I've already got mascara on it and it just feels tacky. So I just feel like it's going to crease. And honestly, that's not the fault of the product because they're not advertised to be put on the eyes. And they are kind of creasing already. So I'm probably gonna have to top that with a little bit of powder of some kind. The bronzer is just too light for me. Again, if you are super fair, it's gonna be right up your alley. I do like the highlight, even though it's kind of a blush. I don't think I'm gonna use this again. I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it to one of my girls because they will appreciate it more. It's just a little too glowy for me, and because I'm not gonna use it as a straight SPF, and I don't really use primers, I just don't see myself getting use out of it. So I would have to say the top two are the complexion stick and the blush. The concealer is not bad. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. Hopefully that was helpful. I know quite a lot of y'all asked for this in whatever video it is. I asked if y'all wanted to see this video. Hopefully it was helpful. I will have everything I use listed and linked down below. Thank y'all so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, and I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.